Hello everyone and welcome to Life Begins in 20. My name is Mark and today we have the Orzhov cards within my cube and any of the changes that have been made. So I'd just like to say again thank you so much to everybody that has been commenting on these videos, because my list of updated cards has grown massively, plus there's a load of changes that I'd like to make thanks to all the suggestions that's already been made on my main colour cards there as well in the previous videos. Each of these multicolored videos has been split up into individual ones because that was what was voted for on Twitter. So again, thank you to everybody that did vote on that platform for how these videos are going to be split up. There is going to be a link in the description below for you as well for each of the individual colours, plus there will be put into a playlist to make life easier for you to watch. So without any further ado, let's get stuck in. There's been a couple of changes within this section. Starting off, we've got Sorin Grim Nemesis, opened up again from Shadows over Innistrad. So again, there's going to be a fair few cards you've probably seen already that have come from newer sets, purely down to the fact that I started off in Origins and really started opening packs properly from Shadows over Innistrad onwards. So I was very glad to open this guy up. So 6 loyalty for 6 mana, +1 reveal top card of your library and put that card into your hand. Each opponent loses life equal to its converted mana cost, which can be actually quite brutal. -X is he deals X damage to target creature or planeswalker and you gain X life, and that's probably been the most used ability that he's got on here, and most useful in terms of the games that have been played in my cube anyway. And then -9 is put a number of 1/1 Black Vampire Knight creature tokens with lifelink onto the battlefield equal to the highest life total among all players. So if you can get to that fairly quickly, which can be quite challenging, you can get yourself a fair few tokens there, but you know, the -X for me is the one that's done the most amount of work. Next up, we've got Ilai, Eternal Pilgrim. So for white and a black, a 2/3 with Death Touch. Great blocker by itself. Perfect for the Aristocrats theme is why this is in here. So for 1, sacrifice another creature, you gain life equal to the sacrifice creature's toughness. That, along with Zilliport, Cutthroat and Blood Artist, for example, can just really end up ramping up the amount of life that you're gaining and, you know, dealing a lot of damage to them. Or you can pay 1, a white and a black, sacrifice another creature, exile target non-land permanent. You can only activate this only if you have at least 10 more life than your starting life total, which again isn't too difficult to achieve with the number of cards that are able to help gain you life for the Aristocrats theme. Next up, we've got Kumbal, Consort of Allocation. This is again a foil. Struggling to actually see his face there. So for 1, a white and a black, we've got a 2/3, and whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So I mean, worst case scenario, you put this guy out, they end up killing it with a lightning bolt, you're still going to be gaining 2 life and dealing them 2 damage, which is more than good enough by itself. And if you can end up swinging in with him as well, or just having him there and the opponent's casting more and more spells, you're going to end up draining them down a hell of a lot more. Next up, we've got Obzedat, Ghost Council. Again, I quite like this because you can just for a 5/5, enters the battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life, so it's nice to be able to drain them down. You can decide to exile it and then return it to the battlefield under your control at the beginning of your next upkeep and giving it haste. So there is a way to constantly be able to re-keep you know, stealing life from them, but part of me actually doesn't. I want to try and find another replacement for this, just because the mana cost can be a little bit challenging to actually achieve there. Next up, we've got Ashen Rider. Speaking of a challenging mana cost, we've got a 5/5 flyer. When it enters the battlefield or dies, exile target permanent. Realistically, this is more of a reanimation target than anything else, but if you are able to actually cast it, getting rid of 2 of their, you know, permanents from entering the battlefield and being killed is fantastic. Next up, we've got Anguished Unmaking. So for 1, a white and a black, we've got exile target non-land permanent, you lose 3 life. Again, you're not going to have any issues getting rid of a planeswalker, for example, or anything massive for 3 life. No issues with that. Next up, we've got one of our new cards here in Lingering Souls. I put this one in instead of Pillory of the Sleepless, just because Lingering Souls is a fantastic card, just for getting a lot more creatures out. So for 2 and a white, you get to create 2/1/1 white spirit creature tokens with flying, plus it's got the flashback of 1 and a black. So again, I don't even have any issues with having this getting into your graveyard quite early and just paying the 1 and a black for that. And last of all, we've got Merciless Eviction. So for 4, a white and a black, you get to choose one of either exile all artifacts, creatures, enchantments, or planeswalkers. And this one came in for utter end just because we already had Anguished Unmaking, so it was kind of a bit silly to have a second one of that. Plus, this just gives a little bit more versatility of what you'd like to have as mass removal. So, have been impressed with this. So there we have all of the Orzhov cards within my cube, and I just again like to say thank you so much for all the suggestions that were made in my first set of videos for each of these colour combinations, because my cube has been made so much better with those 300 plus changes, and that's all down to you. So again, thank you all for making those suggestions, and like I said at the top of the video, each of these multicoloured sections has been broken up. There will be a link in the description below for you, so you can watch each of the individual episodes that you'd like to see, plus they'll also be put into a playlist to make life easier for you, so you can just watch all of them in one go. I would just like to take this moment to thank my Patreons of the channel. I can't thank you enough for the help and support that you're giving me. If you'd like to do the same, head over to patreon.com/lifebegins@20, and there'll be a link in the description below for that as well, where there are plenty of rewards to choose from. With your support, we can really push to make this channel even better. Be sure to check out our sponsor, 5colorcombo.com, for a great range of Magic the Gathering accessories with stunning artwork, plus a great app to draft and create decks on the fly. Use the referral code LifeBegins20 for 5% off. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. With your support, we can really help this channel to grow. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.